Tonight, the Channel 4 I-Team is exposing a controversial city policy that's come as a total surprise to folks you'd expect to know all about it. For nearly 2 years, while banning the use of tasers, Metro Police have had the option of calling paramedics for a needle loaded with a strong sedative to control the most unruly people they encounter on the streets. One of the doctors who came up with the protocol says it's the safest option out there and is used all over the country. But it was news to many and a troublesome precedent in the eyes of a top medical ethicist. This is the drug, midazolam, better known as Versed. If you've ever had a colonoscopy, you probably had a shot of this, then everything else was a blur.
I mean, the drug has an amnesia effect, and we use that therapeutically because one of the nice ways to take care of the discomfort is to make people forget that they've had it.
But these shots that can make you forget have been used out on the streets, on people police say were out of control. One of the first to get it was Damian Beasley.
Well, that night, I hadn't been properly taking my meds, like I'm supposed to. I got so depressed to where I was up on the bridge, running in the traffic, back and forth, cars dodging me, swerving. Ended up with 2 sharp objects in my hand. By that time, the police had arrived. I was charging them with these sharp objects, trying to make them shoot me, actually yelling at them to shoot.
When a taser didn't work, police turned to a brand new protocol. They called for an ambulance, a paramedic, an injection of Versed.
I remember they were holding me down. It was like maybe 4 or 5 on each side. And I remember them calling for something. Some guy came up on the left side and hit me with it.
Through your clothes?
Through your clothes. I do know that whatever it was, works immediately. I mean, you ain't got a chance. If you are 300 pounds, it's like a horse tranquilizer. I don't care. You gone. It's a wrap.
Damian Beasley says he has no idea what happened next.
I woke up, I don't know how much time had passed, but the sergeant standing over me talking about sign here. I didn't know what I was signing. It's gotta be honest. I just signed a piece of paper and I was immediately right back out.
We now know Beasley ended up at General Hospital, then in psychiatric care. He was not charged for the incident on the bridge. But his lawyer, a public defender, had no idea that Versed had been used to subdue him until we told him about it. In fact, very few people seem to know about this nearly 2-year-old policy. The state's largest mental health advocacy group, Nashville's mental health judge, the Nashville Rescue Mission, the ACLU, none had knowledge of what some see as an extreme approach to law enforcement.
I've talked to my colleagues around the country, and none of the people from the south to the north, east to the west, have ever heard about this kind of program, this kind of use, where they basically force an injection upon an individual, knowing nothing about his or her medical condition.
I can't tell you why those individuals don't know about it.
Dr. Corey Slovis is Nashville's emergency medical director. Along with medical examiner Dr. Bruce Levy, he customized a Versed policy for Nashville, already endorsed by a group of emergency medical experts called the Eagles.
It's something that in the medical community and EMS medical community is very common. It's a given. When I surveyed the major metropolitan areas around the country, I think only 2 cities were not actively using it.
But are there potential problems? Dr. Stephen Miles is a nationally known expert on biomedical ethics and law enforcement. He, too, had never heard of Versed being used in this way.
There is no research guideline. There is no validated protocol for this. There's not even a clear set of indications for when this is to be used, except when people are agitated. By saying that it's done by the emergency medical personnel, they basically are trying to have it both ways. That is, they're trying to use a medical protocol that is not validated for a police function, arrest and detention.
The decision to administer Versed is based purely on a paramedic decision, not a police decision.
Yet it's up to the officer on the beat to call the ambulance, and some might say diagnose a condition called excited delirium.
I don't know if I would use the word diagnosing, but they're assessing the situation and saying, this person is not acting rationally. This is something I've been trained to recognize. This seems like excited delirium. I don't view delirium in the field as a police function. It's a medical emergency. We're giving a drug, Versed, that's routinely used in thousands of healthcare settings across the country in the field by trained paramedics. I view what we're doing as the best possible medical practice to a medical emergency.
Now, we should mention Metro government would not release the names of the 8 other people who got Versed injections after police calls, saying that information was now protected, just like a medical record would be. They did say only 1 patient out of the 9 had not shown improvement after the shot.